Deadpool and Wolverine is doing great at the box office as expected, and I think it's benefited not only by the fact that it sees the return of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, but how the self-aware comedy also pokes fun at Disney and recent failures of the MCU since Endgame. Fans no doubt appreciate that level of acknowledgement that the franchise hasn't been in a good place, and there's no point denying that. So admitting the problem is often the first step to resolving it. So to that end, there appears to be a change coming at Marvel, though not quite as much as at Lucasfilm. This article is from Bounding Into Comics. Rumor, Marvel Studios fired all the producers that could be labelled activist, Lucasfilm doubling down on all the nonsense. As the old adage goes, the more things change, the more things stay the same. According to a new whisper from within the halls of Disney, while Marvel Studios has reportedly learned from their recent mistakes and cleaned house of any and all of its activist producers, Lucasfilm is choosing to keep on their creatively bankrupt path to self-destruction. Oh dear. So there's no good news for Star Wars fans, it appears, unfortunately. Possibly better for the MCU, though. Word of this apparent divergence between the House of Mouse's two subsidiary studios was raised first on August 2nd by Film Threat founder Chris Gore during a recent appearance on the Critical Drinkers Open Bar podcast, offering his thoughts on the Marvel Studios' near future outlook in light of their showing at the recent 2024 San Diego Comic-Con. Gore opined, "I think we're going to get a year of bad Marvel stuff, TV shows. You've got Agatha all along. You've got Ironheart, these two movies, Captain America, Brave New World, and Thunderbolts. Fantastic Four, we'll see. We'll see how Robert Downey Jr. will be used." He added, referring to the news, that the former Iron Man actor will be playing Doctor Doom in the upcoming Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars duology. Is he a variant of Tony Stark? Is he just an actor playing a different character? So whatever it is, I think it's interesting. In further arguing for his optimism, Gore then asserted, "I do know people who work at Marvel. They quietly, months ago, fired all the producers that could be labelled activist. Unlike Lucasfilm," he declared, "Lucasfilm is lost. They are doubling down on all the nonsense. You will never get anything good out of Lucasfilm and Star Wars. That's it." Turning to explain the reasons behind Marvel Studios' apparent house cleaning, Gore detailed Kevin Feige recognizes, basically, he said, he tried it, it didn't work. He's talking about Phase 4, continued the noted film critic, that it's tried, it didn't work, no Kang, none of these side characters that don't have the legacy of classic characters. And if Deadpool and Wolverine proves anything, you've heard that phrase, male and pale is stale. That was spoken aloud across studios, but if you look at box office this year, I would say male and pale is money, and that's the phrase that I think people should more adopt. Very interesting indeed. So it's almost as if reverting to type and giving audiences what they wanted all along actually works. Who would have thought? Not alienating fans with divisive identity politics that drives people away. Not doing the whole straight white male is bad thing, right? This is what I meant a few months ago when I said woke was dying. The culture, the audience base, they're just jaded now. It's run its course and the people want change. It's clear that audiences are voting with their wallets, and that's why Deadpool and Wolverine is performing so well. I think Kevin Feige is very reasonable, actually. Clearly his hands were tied with requirements from upstairs over the past few years. Demonstrably, DEI-driven content has proven profoundly unpopular in both TV and film across major franchises, not just Marvel, not just Lucasfilm. The retooling at Marvel is huge, though, and I think it augurs well for the future of Hollywood franchises. It's going to take some time for us to really notice this change because some projects are already greenlit a few years ago. But for the end of Phase 5 and the beginning of Phase 6 and onwards, I think you're going to see something more familiar to, Phase 3 of the MCU, maybe not quite as strong in terms of quality, but that was indeed a very high bar, but much closer to the MCU's prime, something much more recognizable. And with the return of RDJ and a couple of big Avengers movies leading up to the massive Secret Wars story arc, there's some serious tentpole content for the MCU that could be comparable to the Infinity War Endgame two-parter in terms of box office draw. So we will wait and see what happens there. The question is this the turning point? is Deadpool and Wolverine the moment where, finally, they commit to giving fans what they wanted before Phase 4, the MCU? Is the MCU finally over? So comment below, let me know what you think. Sorry for the Star Wars fans. Doesn't seem to be any good news right now. Take care. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.